Gabe.
and look at yourself,
Yeah.
like your selfie.
I don't have my phone.
Hey, I'm just gonna come fix it.
Okay. So sorry.
No,
Gabe, I like.
now, do you have your top button?
Oh, that.
Gabe, I like your blue
That's
shirt.
part of the problem. And if it's too tight, I get it. I got shirts like that too.
Test. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Test. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Test.
Ooh, too high.
1, 2, 3, ABC. Oh, that's.
Oh, wait. Why? Okay. Alright, I'm good. Great. Who typed this guy? Okay. This is not enough.
You got this, Gabe. We had to watch a YouTube video in class to learn how to do it.
Not you. Mr. Loper just said we're rolling in 3. Oh, no, sir. Miss Bouchard, I can't get this knot undone.
Gabe, what did you learn from the YouTube video?
Okay. Give me this time. Give me a shot.
Gabe, did you learn nothing from the YouTube video?
I got 2 boys. I could tie it. It's funny. My kids went to Catholic school. And they actually second
Hard.
yeah, they don't tie. Since second grade. Since second grade, they've been able to tie. You can dress them, you can take them with, then you gotta redress them.
You did it. You got a good tie.
Test. 1, 2, 3, ABC. D, E, F, G, and so on.
Look, Gabe.
Hi, my name is Gabe Tulipano, and I'm here to talk to you about my senior project, game development. But before we get started today, I'd like to go over the agenda, if I could. We have our introduction, which is coming up next, our essential questions, a little bit of behind the scenes, my senior project demonstration, and further acknowledgements. But getting right back to the point, video games. These have been one of the many sources of entertainment since 1958, or at least that fact alone is up for debate, I'm not really sure. Today, I take you on a journey through time. We go back to when it all began, and witness the evolution of video games from the past to the present. Without further ado, let's begin. What are video games? All right, admittedly, it doesn't sound like an interesting question at first, but at one point, we've all been accustomed to this source of entertainment for dozens of generations. To put it simply, we know what video games are, but how deep does the rabbit hole go? How big, to an extent, does this lead? Video games, in general, are games produced by computer programs that are designed to play with user interaction, and there are literally plenty of examples of this, such as the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, as well as other computer devices. Video game design is the overall process of creating the game, post-production, and implementation of its components during production, including the storyline, gameplay mechanics, and more. What are video game developers? Now, video game development, on the other hand, is the overall process of creating the game entirely. But it's not easy at first glance, since there are many aspects in the field of interest that need to be worked on in order to fully develop the game. And because of this, there are either a group of people who work together on developing the game, each working on one or more of the components needed, depending on what the goal is. Or maybe there's just one individual who loves multitasking so much and is able to carry out everything on his or her own. Here I interviewed a couple of game developers on Discord, which is a popular social media chatting platform, asking them about their experience and other related questions. In each of the interviews, I asked the participants 3 questions. What experiences have you had as a game developer, and what was the takeaway from it? What inspired you to create one of your well-known game series or titles, and why? And most importantly, if there are any other related field of interest that you would study, what would it be? This is what they had to say. This one was conducted with Asmi, who is one of the staff and developers at Kaigen Games OU, the creators of the found phone format horror anthology Simulacra. People often romanticize game developers, but in actuality, it involves a lot of hard work and long hours, just like any other job. But you do it with the satisfaction of creating something new and giving enjoyment to your audience. As an indie developer, it's hard to build something that people would get to know about. We chose the found phone format because it attracts attention the moment you look at it, and no one has made that sort of game before, not at least to a mainstream audience. Mathematics and physics, loved it. And this other one was conducted with Nate Sanders, who is the head developer of Impulse Game Studios and the creator of his underrated game series, heavily inspired by the works of the late Jim Henderson, 1-2-3, Slaughter Me Street. A lot of people get into game making and lose confidence or motivation, but if you want to succeed, and this goes with almost anything, you cannot quit. You have to learn from past mistakes, listen to feedback, and be willing to improve and adapt, or you won't make it. Slaughter Me Street was inspired by both of us, being into horror games / movies, and indie horror games at the time seemed to be something that everyone was looking for. I do a lot of electrical stuff on the side because it has always interested me. So maybe something like electrical engineering. Although this project is focused on video games and game development, my senior project itself steers in a different direction. Since 2017, I've been struggling to explore my creative freedom while studying and learning in my field of interest. The Multiverse Emissary, previously known as the Multiverse Project, is a YouTube web series that serves as an interactive adventure on social media that reflects the past while paving way to the future in an original story inspired by personal events. All created, written, and directed by yours truly. Unfortunately, nothing worked the way I planned it to, resulting in lots of trial and error, self-reflection, and overwhelming support from family and friends. This is an ongoing project, which means that what you're seeing now is only the beginning. What I can guarantee everybody today is that it's sure to get bigger and better, one step at a time. AKO Studios production. Video games, believe it or not, are important. It's not because they help us escape the stress and pressure of our everyday lives, or even giving us something to do as a hobby. From the developers expanding their skills and knowledge through progress, to the fans that are waiting for something new and exciting, and get a hands-on, never-before kind of experience. All around the world, people have made an impact with the stories they write, the characters they create, and the rapidly evolving technology that completes the video game industry to its finest. And I can simply hope that someday I can aspire to be one of those kinds of people. Quickly going over the work side of it, which brings me to my future plans. So what happens after graduation, and where will I go from here? I have decided to continue my education at Mass Bay Community College to learn more about programming and learning how to code. I plan to transfer to 2 different schools to get a 4-year experience of what I want to learn. I want to put all of my time and effort towards continuing doing what I love while learning more in my academic curriculum, in my field of interest as well. And I cannot end this presentation without giving thanks to the people that helped me with my senior project. I want to thank my senior project mentor, Mr. Farrell, and my shop teacher, Mr. Lambert, who's been here since freshman year. I want to thank my friends and family for their everlasting support through these uncertain times. Especially my dear friend Teddy, whom I've known since preschool, who's been here with me to the very end. If it wasn't for any of them, I would have never continued this hobby of mine, which I hope someday to turn into a career. Thank you all so much.